You never forget the first child you lose, not because you didn't try hard enough, but because the memory settles somewhere between your ribs and never leaves. It was my 3rd month working in the emergency department. Still new, still adjusting to the constant alarms, rushing stretchers, and blood that never waited for you to be ready. That night, the rain was heavy, the kind that slows everything down except the emergencies. They rushed in a family of 5, involved in a highway collision. The father with a broken leg, the mother unconscious, and a boy 5 years old, barefoot, blood on his forehead, limp in his uncle's arms. I remember his name. I remember his Spider-Man t-shirt. I remember his eyes closed, but not peacefully. We laid him on the trauma bed. He wasn't breathing. The monitor showed nothing. Start compressions. The resident shouted. We worked on him. Adrenaline, intubation, chest compressions, the works. I counted compressions in my head, trying not to notice the blood-soaked cloth under his tiny body. His heart came back for a minute. We all sighed. Then it stopped again. We tried again. No response. Again. Still no rhythm. His uncle stood behind the glass, watching, eyes wide. His hands pressed against the glass like he could will us to win. But we lost him. Time of death. 1:43 a.m. The attending paused. Looked at me. I nodded, barely holding it together. We turned off the monitor. The flatline felt like a slap. I stepped out to inform the family. The words wouldn't come. I had rehearsed them a dozen times in school, but nothing prepares you for this moment. He didn't make it, I whispered. That's all I could say. The uncle fell to his knees. That sound of someone losing a child, it doesn't leave you, ever. Later that night, I found myself in the supply room, gripping the shelves just to stay standing. The nurse beside me, older, seasoned, put a hand on my shoulder and said, "You did everything you could, but sometimes it's just not enough." She was right, but it still broke me. Not because I failed, but because no one prepares you for the helplessness of watching a child die, despite everything you know and everything you try. That boy became the face I see whenever I hear a pediatric code blue. Learning lessons for healthcare workers. 1. Losing a child patient cuts deeper. Don't carry that weight alone. Talk about it, process it, mourn it. 2. Pediatric emergencies require not just technical skill but emotional resilience. Know your limits. 3. Debrief with your team after pediatric deaths. Silence breeds burnout. Learning lessons from medical and nursing students. 1. Emergency training is critical, but emotional training is just as important. Learn how to support families and yourself. 2. You'll be tempted to blame yourself after a loss. Reflect, but don't punish. You are learning, always. 3. Ask for mentorship after traumatic cases. It can save your mental health. Learning lessons for the public. 1. Emergency teams fight for every life, especially for children, but they're not miracle workers. 2. Don't mistake silence or tears for weakness in a healthcare worker. It means they care. 3. Pediatric trauma care needs more resources, better training, and public awareness. Support the system that supports your children. Closing reflection. The first child you lose never leaves you, not because you failed, but because you saw a life, unfinished dreams that will never grow. In medicine, we're trained to fight death, but not always to live with it. That night, I learned a truth that still stays with me. Saving lives is part of our work, but carrying losses, that becomes part of who we are. This is Silent Scrubs, where every story carries a lesson for healthcare workers, students, and the public. If this story touched you, subscribe and walk with me through the unseen truths of hospital life.